Welcome back to the party package. My name is Owen. Allow me to introduce myself. I am the savior of entertainment and the prophet of the Columbus Blue Jackets season preview. Today, we look at the Columbus Blue Jackets, a team that could actually go on a run this season. A team that has changed itself by one signing and one signing alone, and that is, of course, the name of Johnny Hockey, Johnny Gaudreau, a man with 115 points last year, his highest career season, point season yet in his career, and he signs a big deal contract, not signing with the Flames, nor did he sign with the Flyers or the New Jersey Devils. A very interesting pickup for the Columbus Blue Jackets, but a pickup that I think is going to be exactly what they needed. Because everything that I have to say about what's wrong with the Columbus Blue Jackets is fixed with Johnny Hockey. This team, all the way around, you can see in their points, 44, 56, 62, 45, 53, 20, 31, 30, 27. This team, this second line to fourth line has better individual points earnings than the Colorado Avalanche. If you look through them, you take a look at like O'Connor, you take a look at like Nichushkin, you take a look at Newhook, you take a look at all these young guys that they have, and you got all these players on here. You got Sillinger, Corrali, Robinson, Texier, you got Voracek, Nyquist. All these guys that you like take one by one of like the Stanley Cup champions. That one by one, individually, these guys have more points than them. And that made me think about it while I was preparing for this video. What is wrong with the Columbus Blue Jackets last season? What was wrong with them? Why didn't they win? And it's actually interesting. I was going to say that defensively, you got Werenski, Bachvis, Gavrikov, Goodbranson, Bean, Pique, or Piquet. I don't know how to say his name. I'm guessing it's Piquet, but whatever. I would say, and their goaltending. They got two solid. Merzlikins can be very hot at sometimes and be a very solid goaltender, especially behind this defense. But I was looking into it and I was wondering, why did this team not excel last season? And what I found is that the main problem is that they were the fifth, depending on how you say least or worst, or best, however you want to look at it, they were scored on the fifth most amount of times in the league. There's only 4 teams that were scored against more than the Columbus Blue Jackets. And that is the problem with this team, is that last year they were being outscored. It was like 307 goals. The only teams higher than them were other terrible teams at the bottom of the standings. This is a competitive team that is having a hard time playing defense, which is interesting because the whole point of the Columbus Blue Jackets in the past has been that they were the very strong defensively team. And now it's completely shifted. So one thing that they need to do this season is lock down defensively if they want to bounce back. Because obviously by looking at their points, they have what it takes to be a solid team to make points. Except last season, they had one flaw, is that they didn't have a guy to drive the offense. Their strengths are that they are well-rounded. They are deep. Look at this. You got guys getting 30-plus points every line. You have guys getting... That's really it. I mean, 30-plus points in every line. That's amazing. That's like what you want on your team at least. You got 40 and 50-point scorers all on the second lines. Third line, you got a new guy from Russia who's going to probably be really good from what he's done in Russia. Texier, Sillinger are both guys that are supposed to shoot up this season. Robinson, Corrali, and Johnson are a decent fourth line. This team has all what it takes to play offense last year, but they needed something to really push them over the line. They didn't have a superstar. They've lost Panarin. I mean, that's really the biggest deal. They lost him. They didn't get anyone to replace him last season. This season, they get a guy that's arguably better than Artemi Panarin. Now they have Johnny Hockey, Johnny Gaudreau, to put in that first line to really drive the offense. This team was needing a star player to just push them, to be that threat on the ice. They didn't really have that this last season, and now they do. They have that power now. So their strengths now are they were needing a superstar player to cement them as a team. Now they have that. Now this is their time to run with the ball and do what they can in the playoffs, because we know they're tough playoff performers. I mean, really, this is almost the same team that I guess they did lose Bobrovsky and Panarin, but they've replaced those guys. Merzlikins and Gaudreau, perfect replacements for those two guys. They lost Seth Jones, but Bachquist is pretty good in return there. They have every piece of the puzzle right now on this team. If I was to say they need anything, I would say that they need they need one more superstar player. But the thing is that last year they didn't have that superstar playmakers / guy that can drive the offense and set people up and start scoring more goals. So now that you have a Johnny Hockey to put up there, someone like Laine is going to get fed the puck more because he's going to be able to go through the deep players, pass the puck to Laine to get him to get that one shot off. And you also have guys like Cole Sillinger, you got Texier, you've got Roslovic. Like, you've got all these guys that had the great season last year, and our rookies are going to be going up even further up the pole. And now, like, you could totally see Roslovic and Nyquist Voracek getting at least the same points, and Roslovic playing a little bit more, getting a little bit more experience, growing up and getting better, could elevate to get to at least 55 points this year. Jenner, Laine, and Gaudreau, that could be a potent line now that they have that Gaudreau character on that line to just push them to that point. This team, I would love to say, is going to make it to the playoffs. If this team was in the West, this team totally makes it. But because they're in the East and they're in the Metropolitan Division, this is going to be a very tough team to get into the playoffs, because all the teams, at least last season, get 100-plus points to get in. Last year they got 81 points. Do they make it into a wild card spot, or possibly I don't see them making it a 1, 2, or 3. There's no way that Florida, Tampa Bay, and the Maple Leafs and Boston could be pushed out of those 1, 2, 3 spots. They'd be fighting for that potential last playoff spot. I mean, no, I'm an idiot. That's the wrong division. The Hurricanes, the Rangers, and the Capitals next year could be pretty good as well with Kemper. The Columbus Blue Jackets would probably be fighting for that third-place spot, or maybe the final wild card spot. They really want to push for that third-place spot in that division, because there's no other way that they're probably going to... The wild cards are going to be taken all by the Atlantic. The Atlantic is going to be stacked this year. So they're going to be... They're going to be interesting. If they make it to the playoffs, I would say this team at least gets past the first round, because the Blue Jackets are known to be the hard playoff team to play against. Some teams like them and the Islanders aren't amazing during the regular season, but in the offseason they light up because they're built like a team, and that's what wins the playoffs is the teams. Regular seasons where the superstars shine, the rounded teams shine in the playoffs. So the Columbus Blue Jackets this coming season, I totally could see contending at least for a playoff spot. And if they get in, this is the perfect team to take to the playoffs, where you got all 4 lines are pretty solidly built. You got defense that is well-rounded. You got Jake Bean. You got big guys like Gavrikov and Goodbranson. You got solid defensemen in Werenski and a new rising star in Bachquist. You've got Bean and Piquet. Those guys are going to completely... That's a solid defense. And then goaltending, you got 2 guys to switch in and out. And both of those guys could easily stand up, especially Merzlikins, but Korpisalo can step in and play some games. Now, the one thing that going into the playoffs, I think they need one. I feel like every team I've said this about, but that's how the playoffs work. But they need one more. This team would be a perfect team to try to nab a Kadri now. If this team could nab a Kadri and put him on the top line, have Gaudreau, Kadri, Laine, or put Gaudreau. Say you put Kadri on the second line. So then you got Gaudreau. Maybe you put Roslovic on the first line. Gaudreau, Roslovic, and Laine. So you got those 3. You got 3 super speedy guys that can all shoot and all score. Then you put Kadri in the middle, so you get Nyquist, Kadri, and Voracek, or Jenner somewhere in there. This is a team that would be perfect for a Kadri, a guy. They need that one more a center. They need a solid center. If they can get one all-star centerman like a Kadri, who is a free agent, but if they could pick up one more guy, a center. They need a center. That's their main thing. Or they could produce one. Maybe Cole Sillinger takes that next step. Goudreau, Sillinger, and Line A. That could be a potent line right there. So this team is well-rounded, has exactly what they needed to add in a superstar player to push that offense forward. They're already well-built throughout the lineups. They just needed that diamond, and they have it. So they're going to be their crown jewel, Johnny Hockey, a weird signing that no one saw coming, but it's probably going to be the perfect signing that happens this offseason, and I think it's probably going to be a perfect fit for the team. So that's really all I have to say about the Columbus Blue Jackets. My predictions for them, I think they do make it to the playoffs, and I think they at least get to the second round. I don't see them winning the cup. If they make it to the second round, I wouldn't be surprised if they get knocked out, but they go no further than the third. I would be surprised if they made it. There's no way they make it to the finals, but I could totally see them getting to the second, losing like a 6-2, 7-game series. So that's all I have to say about the Columbus Blue Jackets. So if you like this video, make sure you pick up your free subscription down below by hitting that red subscribe button, and then pick up the little ding bell that pops up next to it. If you liked it, leave a like, not a dislike. You can go down below and leave any comments, suggestions, reviews, feedback, or other types of opinions, rants, and tangents that you'd like to put down there. And tell me, do you think the Blue Jackets make it to the playoffs? Or are they going to be another middling team that don't really get anything done and aren't bad enough to tank? And that's really all I have to say. So I guess until next time, I have been the party, Owen. And too sweet and ta-ta for now.